Hello, friends. It's me, Drea, and welcome back to Drea and the Internet. Get comfortable because we have Reddit stories today. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my friend's wedding because she uninvited me? Okay, so here's the deal. My friend, let's call her Sarah, and I've been tight since high school. We've been through everything together breakups, makeups, you name it. So when she got engaged, I was over the moon for her. Fast forward to a few months before the wedding, Sarah sends out invitations, and I'm psyched to RSVP. But then, out of nowhere, she texts me saying that she had to cut down the guest list due to budget constraints, and unfortunately, I didn't make the cut. This is your best friend. How does your best friend not have a place for you? I mean, they could have a big family, I guess? I was devastated. I get that weddings are expensive and all, but to uninvite me after we've been friends for so long, ouch. Fast forward again to the wedding day. I see all these photos on social media, and it looks like a fairy tale. But here's the kicker. Sarah texts me later that week asking for money to help cover the cost of the wedding. Apparently, they went over budget, and she's asking all guests who didn't attend to chip in. I wasn't at your wedding. What are you talking about? I was floored. Not only did she uninvite me, but now she expects me to foot the bill for a wedding I didn't even get to go to. I told her no way. I refused to pay a single dime, but now she's saying I'm being selfish and unsupportive. Am I the asshole here, Reddit? Or is Sarah out of line for expecting me to pay for her mistake? You are not the asshole. You were invited, and then we're not invited because of the budget. So her asking you to help pay for the wedding means that she went over budget, but that's not on your account. So no, not the asshole. You're not the asshole. I wouldn't send her anything. See what the comments have to say. Uninvited for budget constraints, but still went over budget, and now asking an uninvited guest to pay to cover the budget that she was uninvited for because of the budget. My head is spinning. Exactly. You were not invited. Well, you were invited and then uninvited because of the budget. No. That sounds so confusing. See another comment. Not the asshole. No invite equals no gift exceptions. Certainly no forced monetary contributions. That's the etiquette, and she's being beyond tacky. I consider the friendship. She sounds thoughtless and inconsiderate. A taker. Yeah, that's like really weird that she would even reach out to people that she didn't invite to pay for her wedding. Especially after like inviting somebody and then uninviting them. I don't like it. We do have an update. So since my last update, there have been some significant developments. Sarah confronted me and things got heated. There was yelling, emotions ran high, and in the end, I made the difficult decision to go no contact with Sarah. While it was a tough choice to make, I realized that the toxicity in our relationship had reached a point where it was no longer healthy for either of us. Despite my initial hopes for reconciliation, it became clear that certain underlying issues in our friendship needed to be addressed and resolved before any meaningful progress could be made. Going no contact was not a decision I made lightly, but rather one born out of necessity for my own well-being and mental health. Yes, girl, please, take care of yourself first. It's never easy to distance yourself from someone you care about, but sometimes it's necessary for personal growth and healing. I want to thank everyone once again for their support and encouragement throughout this journey. Your words have been a source of strength and comfort during the challenging time in my life. Moving forward, I'm focused on prioritizing self-care and surrounding myself with positive influences. While it's sad to say goodbye to a friendship that once meant so much to me, I'm hopeful that this decision will ultimately lead to a greater happiness and fulfillment in the long run. Thank you all for being a part of my story and for your unwavering support. Yeah, that person, she's not a true friend. She's not a true friend. Not because she didn't invite you to her wedding, because yes, budget things happen and sometimes you do have to cut people, but to also get mad at you for not contributing anything to the wedding budget when you weren't even a part of it. You weren't a guest or part of the wedding party. Let's see what the comments have to say. Sarah saw the post and confronted me. Things got heated. If she was anything but embarrassed about her choosing beggar ways and apologetic for how she treated you, she is no friend. That's true. She should have been apologizing for being the way that she's asking people, especially people that weren't there. And you're her best friend, and then she wants to treat you like that. It's not true friendship at all. Here's a comment from OP. Replying to a comment, did she elaborate on why she believed those who choose not to attend should be responsible for paying for her weddings? Because I'm so perplexed. And OP says, hey there, thanks for your question. During our confrontation, Sarah didn't elaborate much on her reasoning behind expecting those who chose not to attend to still contribute financially to the wedding. It seemed to stem more from frustration and hurt over feelings abandoned by friends rather than a logical stance as other friends in our circle distanced themselves. It was indeed a perplexing situation for me as well. The dynamics of weddings and friendships can be complex, and sometimes emotions can cloud judgment. Nonetheless, it's been a learning experience for me, and I'm grateful for the insights gained through this process. By that, I mean that she has become too toxic in the recent years. Time to follow suit. Okay, so then it also seems like other friends didn't attend the wedding, so other friends were kicked, possibly. And then, so what, the wedding was just family. Tell her, reach out to her family. Reach out to her family and ask them. All right, we have one more story. Am I the asshole for refusing to make amends after my ex-best friend reached out to me? I have an ex-best friend. And I have my opinion, but I'm gonna wait because I want to see what happens first before I tell you. The other night, I got an Insta message. Confused, I thought it might have been a mistake. Turns out it was my ex-best friend from high school, someone I hadn't seen or spoken to in years. She was hoping to meet up and talk about catching up. Hannah, we went to kindergarten together and were friends on and off throughout our school years. Our moms were friends, which made it easier. I thought she was my person, at least until the summer before senior year, and my mom got sick. She got real sick and passed away from it pretty quickly. Entering senior year, I was in a very dark place. Hannah was my rock, her and my other friends at the time. I was starting to feel better about myself when prom rolled around. I asked if we could go as friends. It felt right and things were really starting to feel okay again, until she ditched me at prom. I guess her and a couple of our other friends had agreed to a slumber party without me. I felt so embarrassed. No goodbye, no sorry we left you at the prom by yourself. That is dirty. It was even worse when I had to call my older sister to give me a ride home. I mean, I can still see her disappointment. Even worse, the principal walked me to the car because I had asked him to check if my friends had left prom. Oh my gosh. I feel so bad for her. Like, high school her. Because in high school it's a tough time and she lost her mom. And then her friends do this. When I asked Hannah for an explanation at school, all she could say was she was tired. You've become toxic with your sadness. Every day you cry and whine about missing her. I loved your mom too, but you make it so hard to be around you. Honestly, I couldn't breathe after that. How does a kid respond to that? Why would someone say that to somebody like that? That is crazy to say that you've become toxic with your sadness. She lost her mom. And then her saying, I loved your mom too. But it wasn't your mom, though. It's her mom. Let's see what else. I ended high school with no friends. And it wasn't made easier that she never told her mom. Graduation day, Hannah's mom gave me flowers and thanked me for being her daughter's friend. I told her the truth about prom and walked away before I began to cry. I left those things behind me, and now she has the audacity almost 10 years later to try and patch things up. I can't. At least I don't think I can. We spent so much of our childhood being together, I just don't know. She looks like she's done well for herself, so maybe she's changed. But I was really hurt, and I don't think I recovered from it. This turned into a really long bent post. Sorry. My opinion is no. Yes, I fully believe that people can change. I fully believe that. But that was terrible. And when you're in high school, senior year, you're like 17, 18, you should have some maturity to you. You know what I'm saying? And to say something like that, if you had a problem with the way that somebody is mourning, I guess you could, I don't know, find a different way to approach it. Maybe say something like, I'm sorry, I cannot be this person for you right now. Instead of going about this way. But let's see what the comments say. Not the asshole doesn't sound like the message was an apology, unless the message was a complete apology showing self-reflection and with no obligation on you to give her closure. Don't open the door to your heart. She'll hurt you again. I fully agree with that. OP responded saying, it was a short hello, a gift from friends of Joey saying, how you doing? And would I be up to meet for lunch to talk? You can see now why this surprised me out of nowhere. Yeah, I don't know if I would be able to see this person. Look, I have an ex-best friend. She did me dirty. And if she were to hit me up today, no. That's all I got to say about that. So if you're seeing this, don't even think about hitting me up. Because no. But we have an update. I made a post about a week ago regarding an old best friend, Hannah, trying to make contact with me. We were close growing up in school together, but after losing my mom at 17, we had issues. I was apparently too much to deal with because my grief was toxic and I would cry too much for anything. The post was removed, but I was hoping to still give an update since people have given feedback on how to approach the situation. Hannah messaged me Friday again, asking if we could meet up at the local mall food court on Saturday since we used to hang out there all the time. Don't be trying to be nostalgic. I thought I had to go to the mall on the weekend anyways to pick up an order. I might as well hear her out. Of all the hypothetical scenarios that my anxiety and stress had popped into my head, I didn't expect her to actually be there. Worst of all, with Christy, another one of my friends from school that was cold to me after my mom's passing. Oh, I do not like this. I'm feeling like there's about to be a team up situation, and I'm not for it. I hesitated to even approach the table once I saw them together. They were older, which makes sense. It's been years since high school, and we're all adults. I gave myself a hypothetical 30 minutes, only 30 minutes, and I never have to see their faces again. I approached the table, we sat down and talked. Hannah talked, and she talked a lot. Apparently, our old high school teacher, who ran the club that we were all in together, wanted to do a reunion with us. She apparently couldn't get in contact with all of us and was curious if Hannah wouldn't mind getting my info. Chrissy mentioned that I was the only one that she couldn't get in contact with. That's it. I anticipated some kind of catharsis to come, but all I felt was rage. What else is there? I broke. I mentioned what happened after my mom. I mentioned how lonely I felt after being ignored and called annoying for grieving. I mentioned how it took me so long to trust again after the people I considered friends just left me, that I would come home to an empty house after school instead of my mom's cooking dinner or talking to me. Both Hannah and Christy were quiet while I stood there at the point of tears. I can't even remember standing up. I felt childish, crying, but seriously. No, seriously, they needed to hear that. And I'm glad you're saying something because they needed to hear that. You send me a message wanting to meet up to talk to make amends, just to tell me that you're only doing this because a random teacher who we sat in the classroom with for 30 minutes every Friday told you. I composed myself. I wasn't about to have a mental breakdown in the middle of a damn food court. I needed you then, and I don't need this now. Hannah shut down. I could tell my words had done something to her. Christy just got mad. She reprimanded Hannah and said that there was no point in finding me, and this proved it. Christy chalked up everything that happened in school to kids being kids, that it was the past. Okay, grabbing my things lightly, excused myself and left. I cried once. I made it back to my car. They have changed, but it's clear that they haven't changed how they felt about how they treated me. Never once did they say sorry. They clearly expected me to just get over it. Again, sorry for the long post, but I hope putting this out there would give me the clarity I needed. Thank you for listening. Girl, you're better than me because I wouldn't have met up with them. I would have said, I would have asked them through text, why? And they could say whatever, and then I'd be like, okay, no. But let's see what the comments say. You should reach out to the teacher and tell them what happened back then and now. Then let them know that's why you won't attend. And OP says the club teacher, Miss Diaz, was actually aware of the situation at the time. I had been telling her and actually had been attending club only for club events, never club activities. She accommodated me. She was actually really understanding how I felt at the time, and I would like to get back to her to express my appreciation for her. I wouldn't even tell this club teacher. What are they gonna do? You guys are adults now, you know? Like, telling that teacher is not gonna do anything. Well, that's it for today's video. Make sure you comment below. Let me know how you're feeling about these situations because I know you have an opinion. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!